loaded show coming your way on today's San Francisco 49ers Report, and there are 3 stories that we want to discuss here on the show. Brandon Aiyuk's path to becoming an elite wide receiver, some really fascinating analytical numbers that back that up. Jerry Rice's advice to Brandon Aiyuk as he looks for a contract extension, and then training camp dates have been announced for fans to watch the Niners in person in the shadows of Levi Stadium. And we start there. Camp dates for fans. If you're looking to go to a Niners training camp practice, we have the information for you right here. Niners training camp does get underway on July 16th for rookies, and then veterans will report a week later on July 23rd. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is quickly approaching. And there will be 10 training camp practices that will be open to the public. Season ticket holders will be able to purchase their tickets on July 15th, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific for $10. The general public will be able to buy these tickets starting on July 18th at noon for $20. Practices for training camp normally begin around 10:15, 10:20 a.m., and then they run until about noon, 12:15 p.m. out there on the West Coast. 49ers open practices. Here are the dates here for when you can see the defending NFC champions on the practice field. Thursday, July 25th, Friday, July 26th, Monday, July 29th, Tuesday, July 30th, Wednesday, July 31st, Friday, August 2nd, Saturday, August 3rd, Sunday, August 4th, Tuesday, August 7th, and then Wednesday, August 7th. That will be Dwight Clark Day, and usually that is when there is an inter-squad scrimmage between San Francisco. If you are excited for the 2024 season to get here, and as we sit here about the middle portion of July, it is going to be here very quickly. And I cannot wait. If you're with me, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. Story number 2. Let's take an in-depth look at how Brandon Aiyuk has gone on this trajectory, and let's take a gander at his path to how he has become an elite wide receiver in the National Football League. Brandon Aiyuk has gotten better and better and better each year that he's been in the National Football League, to the point where last year he was a second-team All-Pro. And what our eyes tell us is that Brandon Aiyuk's footwork and route running are truly special. Some of the best in the National Football League at his position. He is also one of the best run-blocking wide receivers in the game. Not a lot of wide receivers like the block. When you play for Kyle Shanahan, you have to. Brandon Aiyuk also has a very diverse route tree. He can run any route, and he's successful in running those wide array of routes against any type of coverage, as we're about to unpack. Aiyuk also has the long speed to take the top and the lid off of the defense, but if Kyle Shanahan calls a route for Aiyuk underneath, he's so dynamic after the catch with the getaway speed, making people miss. And I think that his physicality is a little bit underrated just because he plays on the same team as Deebo Samuel. So that's what our eyes tell us about Brandon Aiyuk. The next step is to take a look at his standard career production. And a lot of the casuals are very familiar with these numbers, but they're really impressive numbers because the production since Brandon Aiyuk was a first-round pick back in 2020, 25th overall out of Arizona State, has consistently gotten better. Year 1, COVID year, right? And if you remember how weird that time period was, a lot of us do, there were no preseason games and very limited training camp practices. So Brandon Aiyuk didn't really have an opportunity to fully grasp and learn the offense, which is very complex under Kyle Shanahan, and didn't have the opportunity like normal rookies do during a normal stretch of time to really grasp the speed and physicality of the NFL game. Yet during his rookie campaign, he still puts together a year in which he has 60 catches, 748 yards, and 5 touchdowns in only 12 games played. During that injury-marred season for San Francisco, Aiyuk led the team in receiving. Year 2, started off in the doghouse, but then he started to catch fire, and we really started to realize there might be something special here. 56 catches, 826 yards, almost 15 yards per catch, and 5 touchdowns with Jimmy Garoppolo as the quarterback, who is an average quarterback in this league. In 2022, Aiyuk officially came onto the scene and made people outside of the Bay Area and non-diehard Niner fans realize that he was taken in the first round for a reason. 78 catches, more than 1,000 yards, 13 yards per catch, and 8 touchdowns. And then in 2023, everything came together, fully coming to fruition, where Aiyuk's emergence led to him becoming a second-team All-Pro in 2023. Furthermore, his numbers in 2023, very impressive when you take a look at the non-box score statistics. Yards per catch, number 2 in the NFL at 17.9 behind Tyreek Hill. Yards per target, number 2 in the NFL at 12.8. His Pro Football Focus wide receiver grade, truly elite, at number 2 in the league, 91.5. His EPA, number 2 at 107.3. And despite the Niners having a run-heavy offense and Christian McCaffrey having more than 2,000 all-purpose yards, Deebo Samuel more than 1,000 all-purpose yards, George Kittle more than 1,000 receiving yards, Brandon Aiyuk, despite the Niners, since the McCaffrey trade, having the 32nd ranked passing offense as far as passing attempts, was able to put up all of that production and still was top 10 in receiving yards. And another very impressive stat here is that Aiyuk led all wide receivers in the game with a first down or a touchdown on 58.1% of his targets. So he really is able to take advantage of and do more with less targets as compared to other elite wide receivers in the game. And then these numbers from reception perception further tell a story here. Some people try to tell me that Aiyuk can't beat press man, that he struggles against man, that he can't run routes against zone. It's all false. Because when you look at the percentile rankings, Brandon Aiyuk put up just astounding production in 2023. He had a 78.7% success rate against man, 96th percentile. 85.4% success rate against zone, 91st percentile. And then an 83.5% success rate against press, 97th percentile. So the eye test tells you Aiyuk is elite. The numbers show you that Aiyuk is elite. And that's why Brandon Aiyuk is looking for a contract extension here. And when I tell you that Aiyuk has every route in his bag on his route tree, how about this data? And how about this graphic from reception perception? This is a look at Brandon Aiyuk's success by route last year. The 9, the corner, the out, comeback, flat, other, screen, slant, curl, dig, post. What do you recognize here? A lot of green, meaning he was successful literally running every single route a year ago. His route percentage. Kyle Shanahan could do a better job of calling even more deep balls for Aiyuk because the 9 in the post in the yellow and the green. The curl on the comeback, 4.2%. Him into the flat, he's on the outside, so it's hard for him to run flat routes, 2.9%. The bread and butter for Aiyuk, the dig, the comeback, the out, and the corner, as well as the slant. All of those routes in the green. So it's really incredible to see how elite Brandon Aiyuk is despite having such few targets. Again, since the Christian McCaffrey trade, the Niners throw the ball at the 32nd rate in the National Football League. Yet he's able to do more with less targets, which is why I've made the argument he's better than Amon-Ra St. Brown. Because if he got Amon-Ra St. Brown targets, the production naturally would skyrocket. And then these analytical and in-depth numbers tell a story here that the casual fans don't understand. That Brandon Aiyuk is really, really good, and I hope that him and his camp have access to that data because they can use that at the negotiating table for him to get a sizable contract. This is the standard for Niners coverage right here on YouTube. So if you want Niners coverage like this every single day, hit that subscribe button. That's a big reason why we have surpassed 134,000 subscribers. Story number 3. Jerry Rice's advice to Brandon Aiyuk as Aiyuk looks for a new contract extension. What did the GOAT of all wide receivers, and arguably the GOAT in the history of this organization, it's up for debate, Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott, Roger Craig, a lot of great players who have played for the Niners, but that's one of the GOATs at the very least. Here's what Jerry Rice had to say about Aiyuk's situation. I think he would love to have had that security already, and he wouldn't have had to really think about it, and he could just go play football, but still, he has the opportunity where he could just showcase his ability, and it's a one-year deal. Then he can go anywhere he wants to go. So that's kind of simple right there. Of course, Aiyuk is looking for a long-term financial commitment from San Francisco. As for what Jerry Rice thinks about a deal getting done, I don't know. That's up to management. They make the decisions. They do all of those things, and we'll see what happens. We can't let that be a distraction or anything because that door eventually is going to close, and we are so close right now that we got to kick it in. Jerry Rice making a great point right there. The Niners are so close to winning a Super Bowl. This collection of talent is elite on this Niners team. They can get the job done, but I believe they need Brandon Aiyuk on this team in order to do that. And that's why I hope they get a deal done for now and in the future. Will the Niners and Aiyuk, in fact, get a deal done? Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Please let me know down in the comment section right now. I really hope that you enjoyed today's show because I don't think anybody else is taking a look at some of those in-depth Aiyuk numbers right here on YouTube. And that's why I love doing what I do, because I love being able to inform the people. And once again, join the faithful family of more than 134,000 subscribers right here on the Niners Report.